The storm clouds hadn't yet broken, but the air outside the station felt heavy, as if the world was holding its breath. Officer Daniel Pierce was finishing the last sip of his lukewarm coffee when he noticed something unusual on the security monitor. A tiny figure, soaked, shivering, and dragging a guitar case larger than her entire body, was slowly making her way up the steps of the police station. He frowned and leaned forward. It wasn't common for a child to come to the precinct alone, especially not carrying something so heavy she had to stop every few seconds to catch her breath. Daniel stood, set down his cup, and walked toward the entrance. As he pushed the door open, the girl startled, her hands tightening around the handle of the guitar case. She couldn't have been more than 8 years old. Her hair clung to her cheeks, her shoes were muddy, and her eyes, wide and hollow, looked like they had cried far too many tears for someone her age. "Hey," Daniel said softly, keeping his voice calm and gentle. "It's okay. You're safe here. I'm Officer Pierce. What's your name?" The girl shook her head, clutching the guitar case protectively. Her lips trembled before she whispered, barely audible, "Can you help us?" Us. The word immediately tightened something in Daniel's chest. "Come inside," he said carefully. "You're freezing. Let me get you a blanket." She stepped in cautiously, dragging the heavy case with both hands. Daniel noticed she positioned herself in a way that shielded the case from anyone else walking by. Whatever was inside mattered deeply to her. He brought her a blanket, a cup of warm cocoa from the machine, and knelt down so she didn't feel overwhelmed. She wrapped the blanket around her shoulders, but her eyes never left the guitar case. "My name is Lily," she finally whispered. "I didn't know where else to go." "It's okay, Lily. You did the right thing." Daniel motioned gently toward the case. "You said, us. Is someone with you?" Her eyes filled instantly, and she looked down. Yes. She didn't move. She didn't explain. She didn't unzip the case. Daniel could feel a pulse of worry building. He'd been an officer for 15 years, and he knew the look of a child hiding something out of fear, not guilt. "Fear. Lily," he said gently, "is someone hurt?" Her breath caught. She nodded once. That was enough for him. "Can I look inside?" he asked softly. Her tiny hands hesitated, shaking as she pushed the guitar case toward him. "Please don't be mad," she whispered. "I didn't know where else to take him, and I couldn't leave him alone again." Daniel took a deep breath, unclipped the latches, and slowly lifted the lid. The moment he looked inside, his heart dropped and a shock ran through him so sharply that he immediately reached for his radio. "Dispatch, this is Officer Pierce. I need medical assistance at the station immediately, code urgent." "Repeat, urgent." Lily covered her ears, bracing herself for anger that never came. Inside the guitar case was a toddler, no older than 2, unconscious but breathing, wrapped in a thin, torn blanket. His cheeks were pale, his lips dry, and his arms were bruised in ways that told a silent story of neglect. It wasn't graphic, but it was enough to show he needed help now. Daniel gently lifted the toddler, checking his pulse, his breathing, his responsiveness. Alive, but in immediate need of care. "Lily," he said, keeping his voice steady so he wouldn't scare her, "you did the bravest thing you could have done bringing him here. You saved him." Her tears finally spilled, and she folded into herself, sobbing quietly. The paramedics rushed in minutes later. They took the toddler carefully, checking his vitals, covering him with warming blankets. Lily panicked and tried to follow, but Daniel knelt and stopped her gently. "They're helping him," he assured. "You're not losing him, I promise." She nodded shakily, clutching the blanket tighter around her. When the toddler was taken to the hospital, Daniel guided Lily to a quieter room. He sat across from her, notepad out but closed. Right now, she didn't need questioning. She needed someone patient. "Can you tell me what happened?" he asked softly. She wiped her face, sniffled, and looked down at her hands. "His name is Noah," she murmured. "He's my brother. I'm the one who takes care of him." "Where are your parents?" Her silence stretched long and heavy before she spoke again. "Mom leaves a lot. Sometimes she comes back after 2 days. Sometimes more. She says she's trying, but Noah cries a lot. She gets angry. So I try to make him quiet." Daniel felt a deep ache in his chest. No child should have to carry responsibilities this heavy. "Yesterday, she left again. We didn't have food. Noah kept crying because he was hungry. I tried giving him water, but he wouldn't drink. And then he just, her voice cracked. He wouldn't wake up." She twisted her fingers anxiously. "I didn't know what to do. I kept shaking him. I thought maybe he was sleeping but he wouldn't open his eyes. So I put him in the guitar case because it was the only thing I could carry him in." Her breath came out in a shudder. "I walked all night to come here." Daniel couldn't imagine the fear and exhaustion this little girl had endured. Walking alone through the night, carrying her toddler brother, hoping for help. "You're incredibly strong," he said gently. "You did everything right. But will Noah be okay?" She whispered. "We'll make sure he gets everything he needs." Hours passed. Lily wouldn't sleep, wouldn't eat, and didn't let go of the blanket Daniel had draped over her. Every sound of distant sirens made her flinch. Finally, Daniel received a call from the hospital. He stepped aside to take it, but Lily watched him with wide, terrified eyes, trying to read his face. When he returned, he knelt in front of her again. "Lily," he said softly, "Noah is stable. He's going to be okay." Her relief was instant and overwhelming. She covered her face, crying silently with pure exhaustion. "But," Daniel continued with a gentle tone, "the doctors want to keep him for a while to make sure he's healthy. And we need to make sure you're safe too. We'll find a place for both of you." Her head snapped up in panic. "Are you taking me away from him?" "No," he said firmly. "You two stay together. I promise." She finally breathed again. A social worker arrived later, speaking to Lily with the same softness Daniel had used. She explained that they would take her to see Noah, and then they would move to a safe place where she wouldn't have to worry about food, warmth, or being alone. But Lily wouldn't leave until she looked up at Daniel, her tiny hands twisting together. Will you come too? She asked. Daniel hesitated, but only for a moment. Yes, he said. I'll go with you. At the hospital, Noah lay in a crib with monitors gently blinking beside him. He looked fragile, but no longer in danger. Lily rushed to his side and held his tiny hand. Daniel stood back, watching quietly as Lily whispered gentle apologies to her brother, tears falling onto his blanket. A doctor approached Daniel with a sigh. This could have ended terribly, he said. But because of her, he survived. Daniel nodded. These children have more strength than most adults. In the following days, arrangements were made to ensure Lily and Noah would never return to the unsafe environment they had escaped. The social services team worked tirelessly, and Daniel checked in. Often, bringing toys, snacks, and gentle reassurance. Lily slowly began to smile again, but only when Noah improved enough to laugh or when Daniel visited with his warm, steady presence. One afternoon, as Daniel was leaving their temporary care home, Lily tugged his sleeve. You said I saved Noah, she whispered. You did, he replied. She shook her head softly. No, you saved us. Daniel felt something shift inside him, a reminder of why he had become an officer in the first place. In a world filled with chaos, sometimes all it took to change someone's life was opening a door, and opening a guitar case. And one little girl's courage had done far more than that. It had given two children a future.